Hello, 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 hello. I'm Nemesis. I'm here to bring you the good, the bad, the ugly about money. So let's dig into the State of Economics 101. Yo! Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what is going on out there? What's up, what's up, what's up? I see we got Jason the Tiger Osborne coming in hot and heavy with those FAs. That's what's up. What's going on, Rude? What's going on, my dude? Golden Wolf going, gas leak next door, retired Starbucks. PSE is making a repair now. Why am I the one responsible to take care of this? Because you're probably like an awesome guy and probably the most responsible person in the vicinity. I'm just going to put it out there like that because I think you're just that awesome, my dude. What's going on, Crypto Bedell coming in with the FAs? What's going on, Sadie? What's going on, the Deadwood? What up, what up, what up? So what is going on, everybody? It is hump day. Yeah. That's what's up. And as usual, on a Wednesday, that means we're going to dig into some economics. It might not be completely crypto focused, but everything kind of ties in with each other. So what happens in the traditional finance market usually mirrors in the crypto market. And a lot of times with the traditional finance market, being that it's an older, more established market, if something happens there, it's 100% going to smack over onto the crypto side, which is a more immature market. You know, it's a newer emerging market. It hasn't hit that point of maturity in the market where you don't see so much that violent swings because it's being more evenly distributed amongst more people. So, you know, that's why I always kind of look at the state of the stock market and what each country is doing to their own individual dollars that they denominate everything into, because all of this stuff does play into the price of Bitcoin. So that's kind of why I actually go over this stuff. I look at this stuff, and I've had a few people that have asked me multiple times to kind of take some of that knowledge out of my head and put it right here. So let's kind of dig right on into it, guys. Yo. Don't need both of those cameras. Why are both of those cameras on? Let's see here. Which one don't I need? That's my main one there. That's that. That one. Yeah, there we go. Bam. I don't need that camera on. Cool. Here we go. So, as we can see, S&P 500, you know, it's going to be your top 500 Fortune 500 companies in here, being all kind of putting into one index. So you can buy small pieces of exposure to the top 500 companies. So this fund is trading at $4,140.75. For the day, it is up 1.24%. So being that is a $1 billion market over there, being up 1.23% for the day, not bad. Nasdaq 100 trading at 12,500. It is 2.87% up. So if you guys got in there in the dip on these two indexes, you're doing pretty good. But you know, it's like, I don't know about you, but I don't have $4,140 laying around, nor do I have 12,550 or 75 cents, whatever it may be, to be able to get a full share of that. Neither do I have the $23,738 for Bizity Bitcoin, which is up 2.63%. And I'm hoping that Bitcoin kind of flatlines here for a little bit. That's healthy for the market. Let it establish a support level before we start rocketing off once again. I mean, not that I'm going to sit here and be like, oh, boo-hoo, don't rock it off. No, please don't stop. No, I'm not going to be like that. But I like to see slower, more incremental growth because it doesn't have such a drastic pull down. Again, that would be something that you would see in a more of a maturing market. It will slow down that quick sharp rise, and and it'll find more support layers at each level, so that even when it does pull back in a bear market, it doesn't pull back that far. So that's how you can tell that we are still very early in the busy Bitcoin space, guys, even with the price being relatively more than what most Americans make in a year, guys. But that's one thing I love about that busy Bitcoin. You can buy dollar cost average, $10, every paycheck, or $10 a month, whatever your budget can afford. It's like that's how I play the game outside of mining. US dollar is down almost 0.9%, guys, on the day. Dollar strength is at 101, guys. And that's why you'll see a lot of these assets as the dollar price gets weaker, asset prices become higher. It's a correlation. So when the dollar strengthens, asset prices get cheaper. So right now we are they're looking at a few different things that are going to be coming in that might be signs of still bearishness in the market. And we'll kind of go right on over those in a second here. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 0.13%. That's really nothing. It had a good rise in the last couple of days, so it's just kind of having a cool down period. Nothing to worry about. Russell 2000 is up 1.39%. The Russell 2000 is where Cathie Wood's ARK Investment, which they are a fund that holds on to Bitcoin, and same thing with MicroStrategies. Both of these companies are tied into the Russell 2000. So Bitcoin's up, Russell 2000's up too. These are good times for anybody who's been invested in with the Russell 2000 index, guys. These are just kind of slow market movers between the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the Russell 2000. During bear markets, they get wrecked no different than Bitcoin, especially under high manipulation like infinite money printing that the Federal Reserve has done. This is kind of like washed out some of the market signals that people would typically be looking at for these, to figure out which direction the market is truly heading. Whenever you got a fresh influx of cheap, easy money, it shows up in the stock market very quickly, and it muddies up the water, and it looks like this infinite bull run. So hopefully the government stops, the Federal Reserve stops handing money out to Wall Street here, and starts, holding them accountable for what they are currently doing. And we'll dig into some of that here. Crypto market here, doing fantastic. It is a sea of green, guys. Completely. Yeah, you're gonna see some red here and there in the poop coin market. It is what it is. But for overall, most of these coins are all in the green. So, you might not, depending on where your buy-in price was during the bull run, depends on if you are above water or not. But seeing that Bitcoin has been holding this $23,000 per Bitcoin is a good sign that we are establishing a ground floor. We need the support level in the $20,000 range, guys. So this is a healthy market movement. So don't, just kind of hold fast and, keep stacking sats and hodling, guys. Yo, that is what is up. It's like bought BTC earlier this month. So yeah, DCA in already for the month. Yeah, that is what's up. And if you got, and it's like you guys got to take it while the getting's good. If you're gonna DCA, don't worry about trying to get the DCA at the very bottom. Always buy the bottom. You always buy the dip. Historically, people who DCA'd, bought in on a particular scheduling, whether it was $10, $20, no matter what, they averaged the same as we went into a bull market as if they went into a bear market. They stacked on average within margin of error the same amount of Satoshis, but at different pricing points. So just kind of keep that in mind, that everything is kind of more on the relative side. If you're going to be involved with that sweet Bizzity Bitcoin, just put yourself onto a little schedule. This is what I do. I'm not telling you what to do. But put yourself on a schedule like I do. And I go, you know what? This is what I'm going to invest per week or per month. And just don't think about it. Just smash buy. Bam! Smash buy some Bizzity Bitcoin. To me, you can't fail. It's like, I'm not looking forward to doing a clutch swap on a Forerunner. I would just be really happy if the SLV was all it was. Just tried to bleed the SLV, but no help. Hard to do alone. When you're not used to doing it, I will agree with you, Deadwood. When you're not used to like dropping transes with a 4x4 unit hanging off the back of it, 100% agree with you. Doing it off the ground, on jack stands, that is the absolute worst. I know the pain from doing dragsters, dropping transes, pulling motors by yourself. It takes a little bit of extra time, but just kind of keep a mental note. Take some photos if you need to, and slow is fast. Ratchet straps are your friend. Usually, I'll take a ratchet strap right onto my jack, and then just ratchet strap that bastard to my jack, and then safely let that thing down. To me, that's how I've always done it. Damn, why YouTube up ad space above the chat text window to have it minimized now, BS? Oh, damn. Why would they put it there? I have no idea. But here we are. I've been keeping an eye on this one because, as we all know, every one of us here more than likely has a car. And every time we fill it up, you're going, ouch. Every week, it's like, ooh. I don't want to drive anywhere extra to next week. You come to the pump next week, and you're like, oh, it's going to hurt a little bit more, guys. So let's take a look at some of the reasons why we are doing that. Because we as one, we are not energy independent anymore. We're no longer producing enough oil to sustain America. And it's by, our presidency's design. Yay Putin. Not yay Putin. That's what they want you to think, right? Right? But this is Biden's bad policy with his administration, trying to have a proxy war with Putin. So we're spending off fuel, we're spending off all this extra stuff, and we're depleting through our strategic oil reserves. This is something that a lot of people don't pay attention to, and it's why I kind of, periodically I pull this chart up. Since 2020, right? We were at 634,967,000 barrels of crude oil sitting on the United States soil, as part of our strategic oil reserves. We had came off of an all-time high of 726,000 barrels of oil. Today, we are at 3,888,419,000 barrels of crude oil. Last week, this is just in 1 week, guys, we had 398,569 barrels of crude oil. I looked at this last week, and that's where the numbers were as of last week. Now it's been updated for November. And it's still coming down. So you're talking October to November of last year. We're not even current yet. And it's still trending down in every way, shape, or form. Now it's not going to the public sector because our prices are starting to go back up. My diesel price, I got a diesel truck. I'll tell you what, your gasoline might have gone down, but my diesel stayed the same. And that's why the cost of shipping goods never changed. It still stayed high because the cost of shipping was still grossly high because the diesel energy price here in the US sucks. There's no reason that my diesel should be over $4 a gallon. Sorry, there is no reason for this outside of the fact that we are being raked over the coals from other countries where we're begging and pleading to get more oil from them. So now we're asking China for oil. Where's China getting their oil from? Russia. Whose economy are we supporting now? Russia. It's like I don't understand what these sanctions are about if we're going to be circumventing them by going through other countries to get it from them. It makes no sense. So if we deplete all of our reserves here, then you won't be able to afford to do anything other than walk down the street. Gas prices will be $10 a gallon. There ain't no person no normal person. The average person is making, I would say, right around $25,000 a year. How are they going to be able to afford a $50,000 to $60,000 fully electric vehicle? They're not. Let's be realistic here. It's like, so this is going to, like, the way that they're doing this is going to cripple the United States and put us into a nasty depression, guys. It's like deplete the reserves and then double the cost due to demands being greater than the supply. And that would be, and that would slow down the demand. If you raise price, demand slows down. That's natural economics. But if you're talking about the lifeblood of what makes that makes your civilization go, like oil makes the world go round at this point. So you could sit there and raise the prices up exponentially, and people will still pay it. Why? Because that's the only way they can sit there and trade their time for more money. It is a vicious cycle, which means that as the fuel prices go up, people are going to want to get paid more, which makes the goods and services go up, which, is going to in turn put more money into the ecosystem. And that's going to turn around and put more credit on the system, more debt on the system. And prices will still continue to rise up on all of this. And how do you think that we're going to be all looking at this? It's going to be like this, guys. So with this particular chart here, this is the Fed's fund rate 62-year historical chart. Now, none of these people that have been running the Federal Reserve in the last 20 to 30 years, none of them are a Paul Volcker. Paul Volcker was in the 80s. He raised the interest rates above 20% to get ahead of inflation. He put the damn inflation genie back into the bottle by going not just in front of the inflation, but way out in front and curb stomped it back into submission. And that correction didn't come around until about the mid-90s, guys. Once we hit the mid-90s, the new federal chair started cooling off the high interest rates to get the economy to start, pulling out lines of credit so companies could start growing again. Unfortunately, coming out of the 80s, they allowed them to start doing stock share buybacks. Worst fucking combination going along with this. Because as these companies were sitting here pulling out new credit lines, their stock shareholders started going, well, where's our cut now? You got this extra capital here. We want ours now. So now that these companies stop putting as much into expanding their company, because if they had God forbid, they had a bad year or something like that, they had to buy back their stock shares, buy back shares of the company and put that onto the asset books, which is the most craziest thing that ever to be done. Boeing's been doing this since '93. This is why Boeing is a hollowed out shell of a company that the United States had to bail out, because they're like, oh, we're gonna have to lay off everybody. Yeah, just like GE. GE used to be this awesome company. They're now a shell company. They just put a rubber stamp on everything, call it GE, under its many, many umbrellas, but they no longer produce anything anymore. GE's a dead company. Boeing is a dead company. And because of government and manipulation, we're keeping hollowed out companies that need to die off so that better ones can come propping up. We're keeping that afloat at the expense of John Q, taxpayer, AE, me, and you guys, right? We are all on the hook for this bill. And as we started coming into the 2000s, people started making all this money. The dot-com boom started really kind of hitting in. And right like early 1999, Alan Greenspan did the Alan Greenspan put the housing market into a bubble that crashed, of course, we all know, back in '09. And we've been on this weird trend ever since, because everybody's now afraid that if they sit there and raise the interest rates to where it should be to knock down the inflation genie, they're going to sit there and lose their job, or people are not going to like them. It's like, yeah, Paul Volcker was not a very liked person, but you know what? He put the economy back on track. And none of these people have the cojones to do the same thing, unfortunately. So it's like my 32-gallon gas tank may never be filled up the same way again, but I never give up my V8s. I'm right there with you, Sadie. I'm right there with you. I have my dragsters. I have my snowmobiles. I'm not giving up my hot rods. I'm not giving up the toys. It's like it. And even with the prices of everything going up, I'm still not going to give it up. Eventually, somebody's going to have to make that big leap and do what's really needed to be done. Unfortunately, it is not Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell is one of those spineless people who doesn't have the cojones to do his job properly. And he's in denial that because he redefined what a recession is, that we're technically not in a recession. Why are we not in a recession? Good question, because this is the numbers that they're looking at. They're looking at, oh, look, the unemployment number is only 2.1 million unemployment insurance claims. Considering that, when we shut down the economy, we're at 14.7%. So we've recovered. No, we didn't. This is the same typical amount of people that have been unemployed, maybe a little higher since the scamdemic, right? So realistically, we're really not doing good here. Yes, there are less people making claims. Not because they are all of a sudden working. No, they're not working. They're now taking disability of some sort, getting government handouts to stay at home. None of these people, it's like for every one person that is sitting there and working at home all of a sudden, because they figured, you know what, I can just keep the money myself. Like, I'm a mechanic, I can work out of my garage. Nobody's going to sit there and, you know what I'm saying, be able to say anything, right? Here, my thoughts is that, no, you just have a bunch of people who have given up on the workforce. And why sit there? If my last job was earning me $50,000 a year, why the hell am I going to take a job at $20,000 a year? That is well below my means. I will sit there and hold out for that job that will pay me the last income that I was getting. And if you go to unemployment, they will tell you the same thing. Be like, "Oh, you were making $60,000 a year? Yeah, no, don't take anything below $60,000 a year." They will tell you that themselves because their job is to help you out, get you back on your feet and back into a similar job. Not the same job, but a similar job or a similar paying job. They want you back right where you started. So they don't tell you at a certain point in time, they cut you off. And you're going to continue to look for a job that's going to pay you exactly where your last paycheck was. Anything below that, you're settling for just whatever you can get your hands on. Now, if you're in a point where, oh my God, I got to at least put a plate of food on my table, period. Yes, you're going to be a little bit more motivated to take a lesser of a job. But you might not just take one. You're going to take 3, maybe 4, depending on, time, if you're able to do it. Because most of these jobs out there, they're saying, oh, yeah, we've created, 2 million extra jobs, but they took full-time jobs and turned them into 2 part-time jobs. That wasn't adding any more workers in the workforce. And if you look at it, more than 70% of the workforce is being hired in by a mom and pop shop. In the last 2 years, we've killed off more than 30% of the working force because these mom and pop shops are closed down. At least 30% of them have closed down in the last 2 years, either due to the scamdemic or due to liberal laws that have basically made being a criminal more profitable than getting a job. So we now are looking at a 30% reduction in total workforce volume that can potentially be hired in some of these areas that now have high crime rate. And people don't want to sit there and get in front of the pink elephant in the room going, high crime and low income areas seem to go hand in hand. You have less economic opportunities. People will find it by any means necessary. It is survival of the fittest at that point. And I totally understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And this takes another toll on the economy, locally around you guys. And as more of these smaller shops shut down, there's going to be less opportunity for everybody globally. And as less opportunities come out, the cost of everything starts really rocketing up because somehow these people are still getting money. They're either stealing it or they're basically getting put on disability for this, that, and the other, and, getting free governmental money. You'll own nothing and be happy, as they say, right? But to sit there and see that the Federal Reserve is going to be hiking up by 0.25%, it's really not much, guys. We really aren't that high up already. I mean, we're at 4.33% interest rate right now for corporate interest rate. So your ability for big businesses and such to be able to borrow money is at 4.33%, which is also meaning that the interest rate on the current loans are also, unless they're fixed loans, are also going up, which is making their interest rate their payments overall on the existing loans go up. And this is where Wall Street tries to fight the Fed about raising interest rates. They like to keep them down next to nothing, but if they keep the interest rates at next to nothing, then the government can't pay its bills, period. You cannot sit there and in any fashion be able to sit there and run any kind of a company if you have no revenue coming in. So having interest rates at zero impacts what the government can actually do, because let's be real, the Federal Reserve and and the government are tied hand in hand. You know, it's all central planning. It's all communism. That's my viewpoint on central banking. That is one of the legs of communism. But you know, it's like I'm hoping that we got to wait 2 years to get this administration out of office. I'm not sitting here saying that a Republican needs to go in, but anybody better than a far left extreme Democrat needs to be in there. We need somebody that's more centered, more in the middle of the road. They could be Democratic or Republican, I don't care, but more middle of the road. Not so much that is sponsored by whatever company or government buys them. And bad policies are what's driving up the inflation, because we have an out of control spending bill now, the omnibus bill being passed. We haven't even seen the ramifications of the omnibus bill at this point, guys. The $1.7 trillion that got issued out of nowhere, and we're still basically funding a proxy war in Ukraine. So we still have our military industrial complex that's eating up money left, right, and sideways. Plus what we're allocating. We're gonna blow budget before the end of the year. The way that they got it going right now. I'm hoping that we can reel some of this back, but we'll see about that. We shall see. I think that most governments have gotten too big for its britches, and the people can no longer afford the big government that they're trying to initiate. This is pretty much in every country at this point. So, with that being said, we just gotta wait and see, because none of this stuff is in our hands. All we can do is look at it and utilize Bitcoin as our life raft, guys. I mean, that's basically what I'm using Bitcoin for. It is my life raft. And talking about a life raft, we'll segue into something a little bit different, guys. Yo, check this out. FTX sister company Alameda Research sues Voyager Digital for $446 million. Yo. So basically what's going on with FTX and Alameda. I'm not sure if it's the same group that's taking care of both companies. I know on the FTX side is the same guy, the same Chapter 11 restructuring lawyer that took care of Enron when Enron collapsed. Is the same person taking care of FTX, going through all the filings and going, this is a bloody mess, this is fraud, and I'm just being nice about it. What up, Patrick? So Alameda is now embattled crypto investment firm, which has been basically stole everybody's funds in FTX for gambling. And bad management is, with their Chapter 11 restructuring, they're now going through all the different places of where money is owed to them, and they have to do debt collection at this point. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. In order to file Chapter 11, all debts must be settled to the best of the company's ability, which means that Voyager Digital, in an effort to claw back loan repayments that FTX made before the collapse in November, lawyers managing the FTX, it is the same person. Lawyers managing the FTX and Alameda bankruptcy case sue Voyager for $445.8 million in a Delaware court on the 30th, guys. So paperwork is filed. They are going to be going after the money that they believe is theirs. While both companies filed for bankruptcy, Voyager's Chapter 11 filing came 4 months earlier in July, following the crypto lender deemed repayment of all outstanding loans to FTX and affiliated investment firm Alameda. According to the FTX lawyers filing on behalf of Alameda, these loan repayments are eligible to be clawed back as they were made so close to FTX and Alameda's own bankruptcy in November. So FTX claims that it paid Voyager $248.8 million in September and $193.9 million in October. The exchange also made $3.2 million in interest payments in August, according to the court filing. So it's like there. Oh, okay. I see what it is. Okay, so Voyager went bankrupt. Voyager loaned the money. Oh my God. So this is even worse, guys. I make a small correction with this, with my thought pattern. So basically, Alameda and FTX are suing Voyager to stop the need to pay Voyager. So they're trying to weasel out of money that's owed to Voyager, and they're trying to say that because FTX and Alameda filed Chapter 11 just shortly afterwards, that they shouldn't have to pay it either. Oh, that's hilarious. So, because we went out of business right after you, so we don't owe any money to you either. Be like, no, you still owe Voyager money, but Voyager was one of the has to be one of their biggest creditors then, and is trying to go, okay, we're gonna make sure you give it to us because we went belly up because you guys failed to pay this too. And basically FTX FTX and Alameda would almost have to claim, okay, what out of the real debt did they owe left on there, and out of that, they basically have to prove that paying that back would be the reason that they have to file Chapter 11. No, we'll see how that one works out for them. I don't think that one will go too far. I think that Voyager has a bigger foot to stand on with what they're trying to do, because Voyager's business model was that of a feeder fund. It solicited retail investors and invested their money with little or no due diligence in cryptocurrency investment funds like Alameda and Three Arrows Capital, which are two companies that have imploded. Three Arrows Capital imploded first, which took out Voyager and had tie-ins with Alameda and FTX. So this all kind of goes back to Three Arrows Capital imploding, guys. Oh God, that is hilarious. Having terrible luck today in recovering some crash drives. No, I hate crash drives. No. Good luck, my dude. Good luck. An motion filed on the 27th. The companies asked for exclusion of the FTX Turkey and SNG investments, as it believes the U.S. courts have no jurisdiction in the country, and the customers have already begun private claims against the company. Each country will have their own different rulings on there, so that's probably standard business practice at that point. Something that was actually interesting, and I kind of chuckled at it. You guys might have a chuckle at this too, guys. Scam bankment fraud, $250 million bail guaranteers should be made public. Rules judge. Yo. So two people who helped the former scammer with his $250 million bail bond could have their identities revealed next month after a recent ruling by United States District Judge Lewis Kaplan. I love that. Let's see what Democrat person is helping this guy out. Who in the Democratic Party has this guy's back still? But they do have a grounds for appeal. So unsealing of the guarantor's name isn't also guaranteed, as Kaplan has given Scam Bankman-Fried's legal counsel until the 7th. to contest. So basically, as Hogwarts Legacy comes out for early release, they have to have their the contest the decision in. They probably will. It'd be in the best interest of whatever Democrat had been that's backing this guy up. The pirate from Texas has his back too. Oh, too funny. So we'll see if they file to contest the decision. They'll have to be able to prove on what grounds, and why. So maybe somebody there will do the same. The Democratic doxing. It's so common these days to have the Democratic doxing. Just like they did to the justices. Yep. So 8 major media companies, including Bloomberg, the Financial Times, Reuters, demand public disclosure of the 2 individuals responsible for guaranteeing the bonds, because that's going to be huge. Because whoever's backing up scam bankment fraud are also people who have helped him get where he's at today, and more than likely knew about the back dealings that was going on also. You don't have somebody just go, oh yeah, we're going to help you out for no reason. These are probably people that knew what was going on and are trying to do their best to shield scam bankment fraud because of his high Democratic donations. Now it looks like they might be in the crossfires themselves, which is a good thing. I'm all for it. These Democrats want to sit there and dox people. They should be doxed. If they're doing some scammy stuff like this, 100%. So we'll have to see on this one. We got until the 7th. So next week we'll be finding out if the 2 people who have guaranteed the bail for him get revealed or not. I'm hoping that they do. Yeah, we should know, and I bet you that's some of the things of why the judge even was like, yeah, we should let the world know. These are George Soros's friends type of deal. Just saying. SBF is the one who paid to be trained in how to operate and scam like the bank. Oh yeah, like the whole Bernie Madoff situation. This made the whole Bernie Madoff situation look like it was like rookie numbers. They're like, oh, we learned how to do these scams back in 2008. Oh, we figured out how to do it even bigger. Hey, scam bankment fraud, come here. We need to borrow you for a second. Let a weird kid freaking run a multi-billion-dollar business right into the ground. It's like, oh, we messed up. It didn't work right. Back to the drawing board. But here's an interesting one, and it makes you wonder, where else in the world will we start seeing this next? Nigerians turn to Bitcoin amid a fiat scarcity, guys. Yo, this one is exactly what Bitcoin was made to do, guys. I love it. And is pushing for natural adoption in an area that people already know what bad money looks like. So one of the most densely populated area with over 200 million people in Nigeria. This comes at a time where the country's election is also a few weeks away. So October of last year, the Nigerian Central Bank announced the redesign of the country's currency, basically national default. As a result, Nigerians were giving a deadline of the end of this month, or the end of last month, to exchange their old notes for new one. So they basically had 3 months after the announcement to exchange the old defaulted currency into the new one. Basically, they forked the code and we're implementing a burn feature. You see how I can sit there and relegate that poop coins and fiat are identical products? So basically, if you weren't rich or were friends with the bank, you couldn't exchange your funds over in any facet. So basically, the working class people were stuck waiting in long lines trying to exchange what notes they could, because there wasn't enough notes at any place that they were exchanging the old notes for the new notes. This makes Bitcoin viable, guys. I mean, really viable. As the deadline draws near, many of the Nigerians struggles to change their old notes due to the unavailability of them. Many Nigerians have gone online to express their concerns about the situation. Mr. Kingsley Magulau, I probably pronounced that all bad, a former presidential aspirant, said on Twitter, "It seems like Nigeria the Naira redesign policy has become a debate about stopping vote-buying politicians versus ordinary citizens being able to carry on normal life with legal tender currency. For some, stop vote-buying means citizens can suffer too. A truly difficult situation in Nigeria." That is horrible. So the people get to pay for the top 1% of people in Nigeria. Sounds just like America and every other, country in the world. Although the central bank has extended its deadline by 10 days, according to the official Twitter account, the Nigerian presidency is still unclear why many Nigerians are turning to crypto at this time, because that's where they can certainly exchange their, if you just spend the money, you don't got to worry about exchanging it. So if I have to spend it and I need to hold on to it at the same time, gold, silver, or Bitcoin, that's where it's going to be at. And out in Nigeria, some areas are a little tougher and rougher than others. Bitcoin's probably the safer thing because you might just go into work, you might have your gold robbed from your bedroom. So it makes sense to have that sweet Bizity Bitcoin. You can have it on your phone and walk with it everywhere you go, guys. Because, let's be real. In the technological age that we live in, every man, woman, and child is going to have a phone attached to their hip at this point, which makes Bitcoin very much a viable means for being able to purchase things in countries that have this issue specifically. So according, it's like, it could be the result of fiat scarcity, according to their central bank. Yes. High inflation rate. Yes. And the ability to hold on to your own wealth and not have to worry about if the country you happen to live in decides to change their currency again and default on the currency again, because you're now holding in an asset that the only time you sell a little bit for that local currency is when you need to buy something locally, and that particular vendor isn't accepting that sweet Bizity Bitcoin. And if you really need to worry about it, you can sit there and put them on a prepaid Visa gift cards. You can put them on, it's like I can sit there and buy gift cards with Bitcoin. I've got credit cards with Bitcoin. They're all basically prepay at that point. But you know what? I can't spend anything that I don't have. There's no running debt because I run on crypto. Everything has to, I can't sit there and, swipe it like a regular Visa grip, credit card. No, it's not a PayPal card where boop, and I've got so much credit on here. No, I like my Bitcoin cards because if there's no Bitcoin on there, I can't boop. It keeps me from spending money on stupid stuff. That's what's up. What up, the Goblin Dude? Nigerians are using P2P Bitcoin on older phones. Yep. I will identify as a Nigerian prince for some Bitcoin. Facts. Facts, right? Absolutely facts. And here's a cool little note. Hong Kong will not tolerate algorithmic stablecoins in new regulation. So basically, if you want to be a stablecoin, you got to hold on to gold, silver, or whatever fiat denomination that you need to back up your token 1-to-1. You know, like Tether. So these algorithmic stablecoins that have been getting absolutely train wrecked and arbitraged to death are not going to be allowed in Hong Kong. And I give Hong Kong a round of applause, guys. Yo, for sure on this one. This has to be a regulation that I 100% agree with, because if you're dealing with algorithmic is just that you're tying your collateral to another company's collateral, and that's not how business works. You cannot sit there and look at trading rates and say, oh yeah, ours is always worth $1. No, none of the algorithmic stable coins have been able to maintain that. And it looks like Hong Kong is looking to protect its people from dealing with just utter trash products. I mean, utter trash products. You know, like Cardano's new coin for its Cardano-backed stablecoin DGED. It's a algorithmically stable coin, utilizing Cardano as its collateral. Using another company's product is not your collateral, especially when you don't have full control over that product. It'd be different if I'm like, how can I put it? I'm selling NVIDIA graphics cards and I'm valuing my company in based against the price of NVIDIA's company. No, I'm not going to sit there and value my company at the price of what NVIDIA sells their GPUs at. No, that's not how it works. I can sit there and go, I physically have these GPUs. These GPUs costed me $1,000. I've got, 500 of them, right? So my company's evaluation, is whatever, however that freaking works out. But it's like you cannot be sitting there and going, hi, my name is Cardano, and my price of Cardano is worth this because we sold one token at this price, and that means this guy over here is now worth the same amount because we sold one token at this price. That's not how it works. You cannot have your own product on your balance books as value. You can have somebody else's product because you're a reseller, but at that point in time, you are a reseller and you are not a stable token. You're basically reselling repackaging Cardano and selling it to the public. So if the price of Cardano drops too much, guess what? The stable coin takes a nasty hit. That's what the problem with the algorithmic stable coins is, that you are sitting there hoping that somebody else's product doesn't take a nosedive. That's not how this works. Period. You could think that's how it works, but everybody that's ever been into that situation, they all get burned. And seeing that Hong Kong is making regulations to basically ban it out of that province, that means that China will follow suit with that, which I'm hoping that the SEC in the United States also follow suits with that, because that is a product that will get people burned that do not understand that you're with an algorithmically stable token. You have to figure out what coin that they're attaching themselves to, because they own nothing. They have no asset physically backing the coin that they are trying to distribute to you. And that's where the arbitrage issue starts stepping in. Like, hasn't anyone learned from Do Kwon that this doesn't work? Nope. And you get scammers like Charles Hodgkins, and thinking that he can do it on his network because he thinks that he's better than Ethereum. It's like Charles Hodgkins needs to realize that the fall of Terra will be the same demise that happens here. Terra USD with Do Kwon will happen right here, and it'll make Cardano it's like, in one aspect, I hope they do it, and I hope it I hope it implodes, and when it does, I hope nobody in this community gets burned by it. So please, everybody, do not get involved with this. But this is where it's like, if they launch this backed up by Cardano like this, somebody's gonna figure out how to sit there and arbitrage this, and it'll kneecap Cardano overnight, guys. This is how you kill off a project. You make an algorithmic stable token built in your ecosystem attached to you, because what happens to you happens to them. What happens to them will happen to you. So this one will be an epic one if this comes out. This is gonna be epic, guys. Crypto Fidel, I love my made me a decent amount of money. Yeah, the good times are over. He's gone full-blown scammer, and he's welcoming it with open arms. So anybody who's dealing with Cardano, this will be the next token on the chopping blocks here, guys. Somebody's gonna figure it out. They're gonna arbitrage it. And yeah, it's not going to take long. It will not take long, guys. Stable coins are all around fail, in my honest opinion. And I agree with you. And the only one that's been able to halfway prove itself to the market is Tether. And not that I'm freaking saying people should be using Tether in any way, shape, or form. But good God, Tether is the only stablecoin that has proven itself. Oh God, yeah. If he owns CoinDesk, then it'll be a Cardano paradise. If Charles Hodgkins tries to buy out a news outlet so that the only good news will be about Cardano, because he's trying to influence the newbies coming into the market. I'm hoping that Cointelegraph does the right thing and tells Charles Hodgkins to piss off, that they do not need to have a scammer control the news narrative in any way, shape, or form. That Charles Hodgkins owning Cointelegraph would turn basically Cointelegraph into CNN. We'll have the CNN of news, and Cointelegraph will become obsolete unless you're talking about the ultra new people that don't know anything and haven't been here for more than a week. So does anybody have any other comments or questions before I head up out of here, guys? It is, so he can't do the Bezos approach. You see, Bezos didn't sit there and start talking about Amazon and being all, Amazon this, Amazon's better than Walmart type of deal. He just purchased it, and yeah. Not that I like the Washington Post in any way, shape, or form, but it still produces the occasional news, real news, occasionally. If Charles Charles Hoskins buys Cointelegraph, it'll be CNN, which will be worse than what Bezos did. If my with my thought pattern on it. Off topic for the moment. The loop. How's my loop doing? Did I fix it? Yeah. It was an easy fix. So I detached one. I had my filling port up high, and it wouldn't let any water, any of the fluid into the system, because if I did and it got down into the main line section, it would start pressurizing, pushing up. Because it was basically it's on the high side, and I needed to put the fill port on the low side, which would be the reservoir. So I tapped into my reservoir with another tube, and just put a regular U-bend into the rest of the line that I had, and Bob's your uncle, she was happy. So yeah, nice and easy. Computer's been very happy ever since. Anybody else got any awesome comments or questions before I head up out of here? Definitely don't forget to smash that Lizzie like button, guys. There are 12 awesome people in here, and only 8 of you have smashed the Lizzie like button, guys. Yo. And drop some FAs in the chat if you don't have any questions, guys. What up, John Jermaine? So definitely smash those Lizzie like buttons if you have not done so already. And to all of you awesome people out there, you are rated F for freaking awesome. Yo, that's right. And guys, if you are wanting to have your mining gear hosted at the Family Mine, certainly think about joining the Patreon. Links down below. Get into the Pseudo Hasher tier. There are big updates coming here. I'm gonna be dropping in some information into the into the Patreon for my my little hashers and my pseudo hashers tier. But certainly get on in there if you want some behind the scenes updates like that, or if you would like to have VIP access to the facility, guys. They have your rigs guaranteed shelf space for you, because it's coming. It's fucking coming, guys. It's coming bigly. I'm just saying. It's coming, and it's gonna be bigly, guys. Because whenever I try to do something, I try to do it bigly. It's gonna be amazing. Yes, Big Rum. I will be starting back up on my workouts on next Monday. So if you guys like to hang out with me in the morning, Monday I'm going to get right back at it. Been letting, after passing out in an airplane, pinched off a nerve in my neck going into my shoulder, and the muscles are just starting to recover now, where I'm not like in constant pain all the time. Everything's kind of loosening up, so yeah, I should be back to my normal animal self on Monday, where I will get back on it hard. It sucks that I will have basically lost 2 weeks worth of working out. I tried working out a little bit off and on last week, doing more cardio than really working out. But yeah, I will be back at it Monday, 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you guys don't want to just like hang out while you're at work or whatever, you don't have to show up for the morning stuff. That's just basically me working out, and it's like ask me anything, hang out spot, motivation, all that good stuff. Not so much the Goblin Dude. There's something like that. It's because it's in the nerve, so no. I did that nerve 2 years ago and 6 months of therapy. Yeah, it's like I figured that for me, it's been an alignment problem with overstretched muscles. So the pain, I will welcome the pain because it's telling me where my issue is. I try not to cover the pain too much unless it's something that I cannot tolerate. And my pain threshold's pretty much up there. So for this, I'm just making sure that there's no like a pulled muscle with it, or a slight tear in the muscle. So if any of that's going on, I'm going to make sure that is pretty much healed before I get away. Yes, Goblin. Physical training is more up my alley. That is exactly right. Because I know what the problem is. Is my front muscles are wanting to fucking put my shoulders together like this. I'm over 6 foot tall, so I'm stretching down and looking down all the time. So I'm like putting myself in the worst position. This is a problem that most people over 6 foot have. The taller you get, the worse your back problems are. And a lot of it's just because a lot of people don't work out their back enough. So I'm gonna physical train this out. It's been working like amazing for me. This is the first bit of an injury that I've had in almost 6 months. So a plane ride, I'll deal with it. It's a week or two's worth of recovery, back to normal. We're good to go. If I was 20 still, I would have bounced back in 3 days. But I ain't 20 no more. I am not a spring chicken. Yo. So thank you everybody for being here and all of that good stuff. It's like lift 5 pounds in front, diagonal, perpendicular, 3 sets of 10 each. Oh yeah. I've got my nice little workout regimen. My shoulder workouts, my warm-up procedure on all of it. Yep. If you want to sit there and hang out with me in the morning, John, hang out with me in the morning. Come Monday. So I'll be back on, come next week, I will be back on my workout schedule of Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Workout for anywhere from about 45 minutes to about an hour and a half. And all of that good stuff. So thank you everybody for being here, all that good stuff. And with that being said, peace out, stay savage, and may your watts be low and your hash be high. And I'll see you on the next one. Yo, and F.A.